So when we're talking about absolute value, behind the flap definition, fold that one down. And behind it, you are going to write the distance a number is from 0. So whenever we're asking for the absolute value, we're asking how far is that number from 0. Behind facts, hold up your facts one. The distance a number is from 0 is the first one. Behind facts, use vertical bars to show. So when we write absolute value, it's a bar up and down on either side, and then whatever number we want. I'm going to just use x for right now, which is a variable. We don't know what number it is, but you're always going to see these little bars around it when it's absolute value. Okay. So if this was a number in here, we would read it as the absolute value of, and then whatever number it is.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
Alright, get that first one down.
And if it was -1, it would be 1. Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone got those two?
Yeah.
Levante, you got them both?
Got mine down.
Got them both? Where you at, Adrian? You on the first one? Okay, the next one you're going to flip up is examples. So some examples you may see of it written as absolute value. So the absolute value of 7. So remember those bars mean absolute value. So it's just the bars and then the 7 in the middle. You may also see the absolute value of -7. You may see it with a negative on the outside and then absolute value of 7. So that negative is just telling you to take the opposite of it. And also you could have the negative on the outside, absolute value of -7. Okay, so whenever you're looking for the absolute value, they're always going to have those bars around it. Does it always have to be the number 7?
No.
No, it can be any number.
Like any number, like 1,000.
Yep.
What if we put 1?
They might ask you for the absolute value of 0.
I was confused. We would compete and we put 1?
Yeah?
But I would just do a little slant so I can.
If you're not careful of how you draw your absolute value, it can get confusing.
I just draw a little slant for the 1.
Okay, under non-examples, you can't use fractions. So if we have -1/2, we're not going to use negative numbers, so not -8. And we're not going to just use whole numbers, so 2. They always have to have the bars around it.
Wait, is that 1 2 or 1 flat?
1/2 fraction.
I thought you can't use fractions. Is that okay?
That's fine. Okay, so on the bottom part, now we want to actually find the absolute value. Okay? So when we're talking absolute value, we're talking about the distance from 0. Do you think distance can be a negative number?
Yes.
Can you walk a negative distance?
Uh-uh.
No. Okay, so all of our answers are going to be positive if the negative's on the inside. So let's look. What do you think the absolute value of 5 is? Positive 5. So when you write it, you just write the number 5. You don't put the bars around it when you're solving it. Chad?
I moved it upside down.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I guess you'll have to write it upside down. That would be the simple fix.
I just fixed right now.
I got all of them.
What's the absolute value of 0?
Yeah.
0.
0.
Basically, they're the numbers, but without the bars.
What's the absolute value of negative 6?
Negative 6.
Careful.
6.
6. It's not negative. We're talking about the distance from 0. Okay?
Are you writing these now, or when you open it, it's already
I'm writing it.
506. Are we going to take a test about this?
On Tuesday.
I'm not good.
Tuesday there's a quiz.
What?
Quiz on Tuesday. On Tuesday. Alright, the next side. The opposite of the absolute value of 2. So what's the absolute value of 2? Careful. The absolute value of 2 is 2. But since it has that negative on the outside, I have to add that negative to my answer. That's the only time you're going to have the negative with it, is if it's on the outside. If it's in the inside, it's not a negative. Alright, so what about the next one where it's both?
Negative 3.
So the absolute value of negative 3 is 3, and then we have the negative, so it would be negative 3.
Let's try.
It
5?
looked a lot harder than it was,
It does. What's the 0?
0,
but it's not.
It's going to be harder than going 10th grade.
6.
They're gonna make it twist.
Alright, the last one, the absolute value of negative 10?
10.
Positive 10.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay?
That could do it.
Okay, I want you to turn your notebook sideways. And I want you to write this. The absolute value of 5 plus the absolute value of negative 3.
8.
So the absolute value of 5 plus the absolute value of negative 3. So you're going to take it in steps. What is the absolute value of 5? So you write your 5 down. Plus the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. So 5 plus 3? 8.
I know before all of you. No, I'm just kidding.
Would that be on?
Jordan.
Can we write our bars placement like this?
No. They have to be vertical bars.
Like this?
They have to be vertical bars. Otherwise it's not absolute value.
Would that be on the test?
Mhm.
Now I'm going to have to write in one parallel.
I get this.
What about the absolute value of 4 minus the absolute value of 1? So when you do your 1, if you put the little line at the top and along the bottom, then you can tell it's a 1.
4 minus
So absolute value of 4 is 4 minus the absolute value of 1
4.
is 1. So 4 minus 1?
3.
Try one more. Absolute value of -7 plus the absolute value of -8.
Can you scoot it over?
Easy.
So what's the absolute value of -7? 7. What's the absolute value of -8? 8. So 7 plus 8? 15.
I can do one more.
If I don't, I don't know what's wrong with
You got one you want to do?
Then go back to
I
fifth
can,
grade.
no.
You got one, Jessica?
Go back to fifth grade.
Wait, no.
No?
You want to go back to kindergarten?
Jordan?
That's the best way.
-5.
We can't just do -5. How do you say it?
Value of -5. Yeah, the absolute value of -5.
Okay.
And the absolute value of and the value of positive that's what adding. Add 7. Wait, no, 5.
So the absolute value of -5 plus the absolute value of 5. So what's the absolute value of -5? 5 plus the absolute value of 5?
10.
So 5 plus 5
10.
is 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Flip to page 3 in your notebook. Today is 12-2. We did absolute value. And most of us are on page 24.
I'm on page 2. Yeah, most of us.